Good afternoon, good evening, whatever you want it to be. It's about 3:10 for us at time of recording. It's HHV the Judge looking at the Fred Archer. How are you, Judge?
Yeah, fine, thank you, mate. Yeah, looking forward to a busy weekend. This Newcastle looks at half a sensible meeting and not such a good meeting at Newmarket, actually. But we're covering one race that's got to find the winner of.
Yeah, certainly. Well, I was staring at George Galloway last night as we interviewed him, and now it's you, the Judge. What a game of cards that would be.
Got slightly more grey hair, I think, haven't I?
Possibly, yeah. But let me just quickly say before we dig into this, George Galloway is the new guest on Talking
Brilliant.
Punting Political Betting Special. It's absolutely hilarious. I think there's some knocking bets in it. That's going to be released on Tuesday night at 6 p.m. On YouTube and everywhere. So please look out for that. Tell all your friends and people you don't like as well. But without further ado, let's have a look at the Fred Archer. There's not many runners, so even me and the judge can't make more than 5 minutes out of this, but he says jokingly.
We should try.
We'll try. It's the 1:15 tomorrow. It's a bright and early start tomorrow. I think the Newmarket staff must be going out tomorrow night. Starting at 12:40, last race at 4:10. We're the 1:15, the Cavani menswear, and I've got 3 of their suits, and marvellous they are too. I think there's only me and Chapper still wearing them. Sartorial Sprint Fred Archer. It's a listed race. Class 1 race. 5 runners got a post on the ground given as good now, but well, you never know at the moment. Ground's changing quick, so I'll whiz through the betting, then I'll come to the judge for his view and selection. As it stands now at recording, New London is the 11-10 favourite for Will Buick. Al Arsi is the second favourite at 5-2. Kamari, the second Godolphin horse for the Doyler on board, is 13-2, and on the drift, Phantom Flight is at 8-1, and the outside of the lot is Holly Doyle on Outbox. So, Judge, what do you make of the Fred Archer, and what do you fancy?
I just thought the front end of the market is pretty flaky, to be honest with you, mate. So I thought it's a kind of race that you want to be involved in, to be honest. I'm a little bit concerned about not just Charlie Appleby stable, perhaps not as bad as we kind of think it is. Obviously didn't have any winners at Royal Ascot, etc. But I just thought this horse has had a wind up. It's got a tongue strap on. Hasn't been. This is New London we're talking about. Hasn't been on the course for 293 days. You're asked to take 11-10 a horse like that. No, thank you very much, is what I would say. The second favourite, LRC, actually, I would prefer out the 2, to be fair. I can't see William Haggis not having this one sort of nearly ready, especially as the horse has only had 1 run in the last 2 years. So you wouldn't really want to be risking running that horse without being at least nearly fit, would you? So he's the one I prefer out the front 2. Obviously, you'd like to think William Buick would have the choice between New London and Kamari, so you obviously think New London would be the one fancied out of the 2 of those, although, I can see where you're coming from. At least that one's fit. But I couldn't have Outbox at the moment. Just looks completely and utterly out of form, even though it's a course and distance winner, but it's 33-1. It's a type of race that you could even have a couple of quid on that, just in case, isn't it, really? But my bet in the race has to be Phantom Flight. It hasn't done the trip, but it's the right price, just to take advantage if the front 2 aren't ready. And I certainly, in my opinion, I can't have out the first 2. So the way I'd be playing this race, I'll be going win only Phantom Flight, and I'll probably be playing a couple of full casts, the front 2 to beat him. So if he would only find one of them too good, you're going to have a reasonable payday either way. He's an 8-1 chance. And if you look back at a handicap back in July, around this time last year, New London beat Phantom Flight 3 lengths over a mile and a quarter at the July course. And Phantom Flight got stopped twice in that race, and it would have been a hell of a lot closer with a clear run. It's a pound better off, and it's 8-1 versus 11-10. So I think actually on the form line you've got a good chance as well. So for me, it's got to be Phantom Flight.
Yeah, well, great minds think alike, Judge. I'll whiz through what I think, and contrary to what people think, we don't actually know what the other one's going to do until we turn up. Outbox, course and distance win, so it gets a plus point for me at this quirky track. But dear, oh dear, oh dear, 3 runs this year. Dr. Watson and Holly Doyle are having a good, great spell of it. But 14 days ago, this horse looked wretched at York and beat 20 lengths. I don't know. 8-year-old, is he on the slide? I suspect so. Kamari is only 5, which actually surprised me when I started looking at this. But Kamari has had a lot of very, very hard races, and I wonder if it's just beginning to tell on the old boy. Didn't look good last time at Newbury. Looked very laboured. Didn't look good on debut this year. I can see why that's drifting. Not the greatest stretch of the imagination that if it came back to form, it would contend. But then we come to the top two. People probably worked out what my selection is, but I want to come to the top two. New London, a stable out of form. The horse has been off 293 days. Yes, he is the joint highest rated in it. But at the moment, you have to take so much on faith with that horse that at 11 to 10, I will quite happily let him win. And then we come to Alhazi. Haggis's horses have tended to need the runs. A lot of them disappointed. He has had winners lately. But, you know, gentleman Jim Crowley takes the ride. Now, I don't think this, by the way, but I must pass on something that I read on Twitter, which can be a moral cesspit, I know, but somebody put Jim Crowley's riding at the moment. He could get Frankel beaten in a cellar. Now, of course, that's ridiculous.
That's
but well, you say it is harsh, but it's obviously a way of saying he's riding rubbish, and because he would win on Frankel in a cellar. However, he has ridden some very, very poor rides, and I don't know whether it's a crisis of confidence or what, but I'm afraid till I see him banging in the winners regularly and all riding well, I'm going to give him the swerve. I also think first time out as well. It's not just a Crowley factor, but that is part of it. Alhazi, I will happily again take on at night of 4. I'm all over Phantom Flight here. This horse has been crying out for a step up to 1.5 miles, Judge. If we look at his last 2 runs, I think the form is excellent. Last time out, you know, that Francesco Clementi, everyone remembers the race because Francesco Clementi decided it wasn't going to join the others in going around the bend at Goodwood.
That's right.
We know it's a highly rated horse, but this one got boxed off on the inside. Had one of those typical Goodwood horror runs, and then I thought it really started to pick up from virtually a standing start. You know, he got virtually completely stopped in PJ. And the time before that, well, we look at the form of this race now. Fox's Tail's the winner. This was at Kempton in the Magnolia, first time out.
Yeah,
now kept on inside.
Rogue Millennium came second in one of Group 2.
In a Group 2, Rogue Millennium finished second. You know, and then you add into that surely the way this horse has been finishing, this step up he's crying out for at this time in his career. If the top 2 are not fully wound up, I think this can win this tomorrow. So I'll be playing it a straight win bet. It's big enough to consider in each way, but I like this at 8 to 1, Judge. I would have had this at about 9 to 2 5s. I'm very, very surprised. Like I say, Godolphin always take a chunk out of the market. Alhazi's one of those horses that's often backed. And, you know, they're winning horses. They're impressive horses, but they've been off a hell of a long time. And they've not been off a hell of a long time for a laugh. They've been off a hell of a long time because there's been something wrong with them. So you've got to add that factor into it. So for me, it's Phantom Flight. You know, we don't have a great record when we agree, Judge.
No, we don't.
Down in flames. But it's got to be Phantom Flight. Straight win for me on the nose. I think he can do the business tomorrow.
I just one other thing with the top 2 as well. New London's got a big penalty. He's got a £5 penalty in the race as well. So that's another negative. And obviously, Alhazi's got a £3 penalty. It's just worth noting. You know, running off of levels would have given him a much better chance as well, wouldn't it?
On the book, Phantom Flight, even with those penalties, we ought to say has still got it to do. But are those horses with such long layoffs after we don't know why, are they really going to run to that rating? Is that likely tomorrow? I'd say it's more likely not to happen than it is to happen. So
that's why I kind of was looking at the forecast, thinking you're very likely to get one of them not to run a race out the 2, and then instead of going each way, you get paid better, don't you? Instead of just getting just about your money back as well.
I think the other thing, the note I made was, look, PJ got a lot of stick for his ride in the Francesco Clementi when that was second, a lot of stick. Yeah. However, anybody can get boxed in at Goodwood. It is a bizarre track. And I think he thought it was going to be one of those rides where there was going to be that gap, they were going to drift off, and they didn't, and he got stuck. And then when he did get out, it's that one, oh my God, he's coming on again at the end. You know, but no, the point is, this is the widest race course in the world tomorrow. You know what I mean? If he gets boxed in on this tomorrow, we can slag him off.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, there shouldn't be any hard luck stories in this race. Surely he can get a pitch and then hopefully bring it through in the last furlong. So there we go. We both agree. Like you say, Judge, it's a big Saturday tomorrow, maybe on tomorrow morning. But look out on Tuesday for that brilliant feature with George Galloway at 6 p.m. That's released. Good luck in the plate, in the Northumberland, whatever you select in there, Judge. I'm sure your members will be on one.
Yeah.
And we will reconvene.
We'll be under pressure to do as well as we did last weekend, won't we? 80-1 winners and 22-1 winners. No pressure at all.
Yeah, aim high, and then you can always drop, can't you? I always say.
That's right,
We'll give it the works tomorrow. So have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you on Judge's channels. I suspect the Northumberland plate may well feature one or two eye catchers. You never know, but I suspect we'll be pointing you in a stayer who may have been in the frame there. But there you go. So I'll see you on Monday, Judge, on your channel, Judge Pottage, and we'll do it all again, and then we'll be back here next Friday. So have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you very soon. Over to you, Judge.
Be lucky.
He's got it. He's got it.
Holding horses.